Hello. This video is actually going to be recorded from my iPhone. And this video is going to be the first video that I'm going to do on PollEverywhere. You know, PollEverywhere is a polling tool that you can use to make your meeting or your conference a bit more interactive. This tool allows for individuals to answer polls rather rapidly from their phone or any other electronic device, such as a tablet or a laptop. Now, you can also add these into PowerPoints. You can add them in the Google Slides, and you can also add them to a keynote presentation. So if you use the keynote software, you can add a PollEverywhere activity into that presentation as well. And now most folks who use PollEverywhere, okay, they do this stuff directly from their computer and they embed them into a presentation. However, you do have the option of creating these activities on your iPhone and activating them from an iPhone. And now, for an iPhone, PollEverywhere does have two separate apps. Okay, so the presenter app here is the app you would use to create your activities. So you see, you can click activities, and you see you also, if you click this little bar icon at the bottom, you would access it there as well. The home page, which is this house icon. And if you want to connect to a Windows PowerPoint to move slides, you can do that from your iPhone as well. You know, you will need to ensure that you have the PowerPoint up in order to do this. Now, this square icon in the top right corner with the square with the arrow in it, if you click on that, you'll be logged out. Now, if you go to the settings, you can adjust your color theme. You can change the name as it appears. You can modify the link. You can modify your email address, modify your password. So if you want the light theme, you can do that, the dark, or if you want this black one, you can do that. And now if we go back to the activities area, you'll see that here's a list of the activities here that I have on this account. And now this folder icon will create a new folder. And with folders, okay, if you click on the ellipses, which is the three dots, you see that you can rename, you can duplicate, you can remove or delete, you can convert it to a survey. You can add an activity within that folder. You'll see the little plus icon that just appeared. You can just create an activity directly in that folder. And folders are a good way to organize your activities based on meeting dates, based on topics, etc. If I convert this to a survey, you'll see it right there. And if I want to activate a poll, let's say you're collaborating with a colleague on a PowerPoint and or a presentation or just a conference, and this person needs a link or something from you rather than embedding. This is hypothetical. Typically, it would be the person that's going to be embedding these activities would just create it from their end. But in the event that the other individual is presenting this, okay, and they don't have the ability to activate this poll, you can easily activate a poll without having to give away your login information. So you see this icon here with it looks like a spiral with a triangle in it. Okay, you click that. You see it turns green. That indicates an active poll. If you click it again, it turns white again, and now it's inactive. And now this poll we just converted, this photo we just converted into a survey. We can convert it back into a folder. And now if we click on one of these polls, and we edit, you'll see that we can adjust the timer. So we can change the time allotted on each question. We can allow for change in answers, restrict participants, so on and so forth. If we go to another poll, we can modify how an individual is going to respond. We can allow for anonymous participation. And this is an open-ended question here. We can turn on the text messaging. We can have folks respond from the web. And if you want to turn that off and you just want them to respond via texting to a number, you can just inactivate the from the web. Or if you want them to respond just from the web, you can inactivate text messaging. But by default, or really what's recommended is both. They can respond either way. And then with this particular question type, you see with open-ended questions, we have the text wall option, the word cloud option, cluster, or the spotlight. So a text wall will look like this. The word cloud, the cluster, and then we have the spotlight. And then we can modify the speed that the spotlight will appear, and the clusters. And then with the word clouds, we have the classic theme, the dark theme, the bright. And the text wall, we can modify the speed as well. And we can also have these loop so that we see these results or these answers come up, in a continuous fashion. So now, when you want to create an activity, you would click on this plus icon there. So if we go back, it's this little plus sign in the top right corner, has a circle with a plus sign in it. So click, and you have your blank activities. So that's your kind of multiple choice, your word clouds, any letterboard. So that's a competition, true, false, your open-ended, ranking, the clickable image, Q&A, a survey, and then the numeric rating, small discussions. So that's like feedback, a meeting agenda, team ideas. You get the idea. Then you have your large gatherings. So you can kind of have participants submit questions for a panel. You can do like emotion type questions. So you can have like an emoji type question there. And with these, you can actually add kind of your own emojis as well. And you can also, like, for example, with this how do you feel today, typically one puts adjectives as their answer options, but you can also add kind of your own emojis in lieu of the adjectives, such as happy, sad, excited, etc. There's the interactive map, which is, another form of a clickable image, population or demographics. You can do a team by color, team building, various. Visuals would be like your word clouds, your bar charts, donut charts, the interactive map, priority matrix, and then your icebreakers, which also could include a word cloud, a roll call or check-in, general feedback, so on and so forth. So now whenever you want to participate in a poll, you'll need to download this PollEverywhere app if you're doing this from your phone. Now, it's not required to participate from your phone. It's not required that you have this app to participate from your phone. If you can text relatively quick or go to a link relatively quick, great. However, if you've been in any of these meetings, you know that sometimes these polls, the owner of these activities closes them pretty quickly before you may be able to get your chance to answer. So, this app, okay, typically whenever a poll is active, you'll see a texting option and or a link/username option. And when you have the latter, you see the PollEv.com/ is already available. You would simply type in the username that you see on your screen, and then you can just join that person's poll, and you'll be able to access whatever poll is active at that moment and answer accordingly. You can also look at the history, see what polls you participated in. You can register with other presenters. So if you click this register button or you click the plus sign. And the settings, well, that's self-explanatory. You can edit your password, phone number, etc. Log out by clicking this square arrow icon in the top right. But this is PollEverywhere on an iPhone. This is your iPhone-based operation of PollEverywhere in a nutshell. And this is the first video that I'll be doing on PollEverywhere. The next one will be how to add PollEverywhere into a PowerPoint presentation. And you can do that in two ways. You can download the PollEverywhere software onto a computer and open up PowerPoint with it. Now, you will need to be logged in order to use it. But when you download that software and you open up PowerPoint, you'll see one of the ribbons will be, you'll have the PollEverywhere ribbon, okay? That'll be one of your ribbons. And if you decide to just use the PowerPoint product in the cloud, so, through OneDrive, you can get the PollEverywhere add-on from the add-on center. And that'll be the next video that I'll do. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me via email or type them below. And until we meet again, goodbye.